This is just some Gondor Cornithian bullcrap. I had a nice sniping position back there. See, now I turned that dog inside out. I could have taken out that whole group of people just like that. Especially with Carlo and Farouk backing me up for once, but oh no, we had to stay low and watch them drive off comfortably in their own little crawler. The damn dogs. Turns out Carlo doesn't care that much to recover the Stacy's beds after all. What if one of those were his sisters? He's an Ethan coward and pacifist captain. I hate the jungle. Insects, heat, shifting weather, possible prowlers around every corner. Feels just like home. Rough in a jungle. Jungle. The kind of home where you might get shot, eaten, stung, poisoned, dehydrated, or get stuck in some freaking quicksand. Oh shit. This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
You two are now stuck in quicksand.
Shit, I just freeze up. Stand still.
What?
Don't move. No, not you, Carlo.
I'm not moving. Captain, quick, get a vine, get a rope, something, quick, we don't have much time. Oh, fucking jungle.
I'm looking around to find anything, a long tree branch or vines or anything.
Indeed, you can certainly get a hold of a vine without any problems. The kid is standing next to you, Farouk, as you're doing this. I would like you to roll for force here as you're trying to pull your comrades out here, and then I'm going to need some dexterity rolls from them. But first, let's see if there's a force that's success. In that case, we can perhaps get some bonus dice.
I feel that my strength is lacking, and I kind of bite my tongue and pray to the icons. And still, I guess the heat is, getting to me, and the lack of water is taking its toll on me as well. I can't muster the strength to help them up. I basically just stand there with a vine that I'm just holding it, not trying to pull them up or anything.
That's right. So you do not actually end up getting much help from Farouk. He is trying his very best, but this is a very difficult situation, and the jungle is really oppressive all around you. So dexterity to try to get out. -2.
Well, seeing him frozen, I just do my best to scramble with my hands, which luckily haven't gone down just yet, to just reach for anything. And I fail.
You fail. Would you like to pray to the icons?
No.
No. Alright, well then you feel yourself sinking further in. And your equipment is very heavy, and it seems like it's pulling you down further. In order to roll again, I will need you to sacrifice something that gets sucked into the quicksand. You can think about what that would be while Pig makes their roll.
I try to very carefully, as Carlo, move my arm to the side, and I try to really stretch, try to reach towards what Farouk is holding out, and I try to use my two other arms to slowly push me away, and I get a success.
You get a success?
Yeah.
Excellent. And then you feel yourself getting out of the quicksand, and you get up on the more firm ground around you. Carlo, however, is still stuck, and you see him sinking deeper.
Shit. I try to help Farouk out and try to throw that vine closer to Carlo.
Alright. You can attempt another force test here to try to help pull him out. if you would like to, there's basically two options you have here. Either you aid Carlo so that he can kind of get out himself, or you try to pull him out, basically, in which case you would do a very difficult force test to pull him up.
Okay. No, I'm probably then gonna try and aid him out, because I know that's got him pretty hard. It's a strong force that envelops you. It's like a vacuum down there. So yeah, I'm gonna take two of my arms, holding them against a branch, trying to lean out for him to grab hold of one of my other arms.
Indeed. And Carlo, what do you give up? It must be something significant and rather heavy.
Yes, as I kind of grapple for the vine being offered, you do see my carbine just slide off my shoulders and descend quickly into the morass. Gone forever.
Indeed. Now you get to roll another dexterity roll. And you can also then, Farouk and Pig, you can roll for a force roll to see if you can give him some extra dice.
I'm actually, if it's okay, going to command him to get a grip and focus on the task at hand.
Yes. How do you take command of this situation? Can you play it out? How do you get everyone to snap back into focus?
Carlo, look at me. Look at me. Okay, you've been in worse than this. Don't panic. Just take it slowly. Reach out and we will get you out of this together. You know, as always, we get this out together. Now focus. And I get 2 success.
You get 2 success, so you can immediately transfer those 2 successes to Carlo. Then Pig, since the captain used his command skill here, you can then use your force and your additional arms here to see if you can give some extra dice as well. So roll force, yes.
And I feel spurned on by this sudden initiative of the captain, and I get a success as I lean out and try to get a firm hold of his hand.
Indeed. So that's +1 from Pig. And how many do we say again from the captain? Was it 2? 2. So then you get +3, which means that it's dexterity +1.
And as the captain gives these commands, I just yell out, "I'm not panicking, Captain! I'm sinking in a goddamn quagmire!" And I get 1 success.
And that is just enough to get you out of this quicksand that's been sucking you down. And you make it up on the firm ground. And you feel, of course, your Vulcan carbine missing.
I collapse onto the ground, half covered in sludge and mud, and I just sort of go, "Great fucking icons. Great. Just what we needed. Less weaponry."
What
I sort
happened?
of flinch when you are cursing the icons in this way.
And Carlo, you, as you're lying there, coming up from the quicksand, you look up, and up there in the sky, you see Coriolis. It's known as the day moon here on Kua, and it sort of looks like that. The sky is growing darker.
Oh, it's gonna be dark soon. We're gonna need to... I don't think we can follow the tracks much longer before we get lost in darkness, and then we'll probably get eaten by something.
Yo, no, we can't keep going. We just gotta circle around this field of quicksand we got here. I'm sure we can keep going for quite a while still. You just gotta be alert, all right?
And the insects are again everywhere around you.
And I sort of splutter as one gets into my mouth.
At least this heat will abate some, I say as I wipe my brow from the sweat.
Indeed. The heat does dissipate, and the wind picks up. Quite rapidly and dramatically, actually. You continue trekking forward following the tracks when it begins to rain.
Oh, no. Pig. High ground. We need to find some high ground right away. Storms. Have you not been on this planet before? We have very big storms that happen quite often, especially in the jungles.
And then it's good to be on high ground?
Of course, we don't want to be flooded in, and we need to find somewhere we can be up from the water.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that severe. was just figuring if there was lightning and stuff, I didn't want to be on high ground. But if he knows this place better than I suppose, I think to myself, and, okay. Are you saying we make camp somewhere?
I look at you with a little bit of a really annoyed, flustered expression. I don't know, Pig. You're the one who lived in a jungle. You tell me. I'm just telling you that on this planet, sometimes the storms can be really bad. Maybe it won't be. But think of something. Why am I the one who has to think of all the ideas? I'm being very irritable and angry at you suddenly, it seems.
As you say this, the rain starts pouring down. And you hear the rain just smattering all over the leaves and basically is drenching you. At least you don't have to worry about having water to drink. It feels quite nice, actually.
Yeah. I try to take one of the larger leaves and sort of funnel it so that water from it will start pouring down into my canteen and my other water bottle, and I try to motion to you two to do the same.
And you do that, and you're able to refill your water bottles, and you think you've bought yourself some precious time there. The wind has picked up, and it's actually really windy now, and pouring down rain. And suddenly you hear the sound of something huge, like moving. One of the trees here closer, a few of them. Yeah, Carlo, you know that the winds are strong enough to take the trees down. And one of the ones close to you is making an awful lot of noise.
Captain, we get the boy. We need to move. We need to get tree.
Roll dexterity to avoid what's happening here.
I tried to scoop up the boy as well.
Mm-hmm. As a huge tree trunk falls down towards you.
And as I sort of panic a little, you just see me go grab both Pig and Farouk and just sort of try and pull them with me. As I get 3 successes.
And I get 2.
And I don't get a single one.
So. It's fortunate for you, Farouk, that your compatriots were as successful as they were. Carlo is able to indeed help you there, and Pig does just fine by themselves. And the child you're also able to bring with you, and you avoid this huge tree trunk that comes crashing down, and you have to find shelter.
I fall to the ground at this huge crack, and I start shouting, yeah, shit, you're right, we gotta find some kind of shelter in this storm. And I look around and I try to get my bearings, and either if there was some kind of mountain or a cave or something, or even take shelter around this fallen tree trunk.
Yes, if you can give me a survival roll, we can see if we can find a shelter.
I get 1 success.
That is enough. And you are able to find a shelter. What kind of shelter is it?
As this tree falls down, behind it, a bit into the jungle, I see like a big circle of black. It's like, what is that? And I squint and I look, and I bring up my rifle to get the night vision on, and I see it, and it looks like it's a really, really big tree. It must be ancient. And there's a huge hole in it, almost as if it's been carved out. I'm not sure. But I say, over there! And I start sort of leading the way towards this, and it turns out to be a huge tree that's been growing for obviously a very long time, but at some point split in half by the storm. It's like a huge tree stump, which now has a hole in it.
Indeed, and that is where you find shelter as darkness falls on Kua. You have been able to follow the tracks, and you know exactly where they continue. You can follow again in the morning, but now the weather is way too severe to continue.
I kind of huddle in a corner, drenched, muddy, taking off my turban now to sort of wring the water out from it, looking around in the dark that we're currently in, and I go, all right, Pig, well done. You found something. Good. Now we just need to hope it's not a really bad monsoon, and we don't get flooded out, and maybe we'll be alive in the morning.
And I follow his what he's doing. I'm trying to wring water off of my stuff, and is it like, how cold is it or warm is it? Is it?
Well, it's a lot better now. I mean, it's still a very hot a very hot planet, but because of the wind and the rain, you're wet and uncomfortable, but you're not freezing and you're not too hot, so it's...
Yeah, I'm probably stripping down to my underwear then and put the other ones up to sort of hang, and take out my skin cream, and I start to rub it onto my arms and my body.
It stops raining after some time, and the wind dies down, and you can hear the animals of the jungle yelling and singing to each other in the night. Monkeys, birds. This place is so alive. Do you do anything else during the night? You are quite tired, of course. It's been a very long day. You've almost died several times.
As I finish putting the skin cream on, I look through my pack of the things that we picked up recently, and I find this little book. The book that I found back in the hangar.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it out, and I look at it, and I flicker on the little light from my communicator, which I then cover with a bit of cloth, just not to make too much of a light out here in the wilderness. And I start sort of dozing off slowly as I start reading this little book.
The book is a Salosian prayer book. And there is one piece of text that's written on the inside of the cover of the book. It seems to have belonged to someone named Salama al-Ahbud.
Salama al-Ahbud.
And the text reads, "There will come a time when mankind turns to darkness once more, when the unworthy speak without tongues, when sister betrays sister, when the light of peace nourishes the servants of darkness, when brother kills brother.
Only they who live in the darkness will see the light." And this is handwritten?
Yes.
And then it strikes me, I kind of recognize this. This was what the rambling poet was reciting, I think.
Yes. It was, part of it at least. Not that last sentence, though. Only they who live in the darkness will see the light.
And I think I slowly start drifting to sleep, thinking of these words.
You do. Farouk, what about you?
I think actually I'm rested against the what's left of the trunk of the tree there, and I start actually praying to the icons, and I pray for guidance. I pray that all we love, all people we love, and all who are close to us will be safe. And I pray that the emissary, whoever it might be, or whatever they might be, will be safe, and that we will be able to help them. And as the last of the prayer leaves my lips, I think I actually doze off to sleep as well.
And Carlo?
I watch these two fall asleep eventually. What about the boy? Does he fall asleep as well?
Yes, as soon as you've found shelter, he falls asleep. Whose lap does he fall asleep in?
I would say he sticks near Pig. After all, the boy seems to be taking a liking to Pig, so I suppose that's where he goes. I notice he seems to be avoiding Farouk, though, for some reason. Not sure why.
Indeed. And the child falls asleep in your lap if you allow it, Pig.
I probably don't pay him too much attention. I think he's just after my figs. But it's okay, I guess. It's okay. And I don't notice it too much, actually, as I read on.
And yes, I have no idea how everyone gets to sleep. I listen to the rain and the storm, full of anger, frustration. This is awful. This whole situation is awful. And I'm in this situation because of bloody judicators. What a joke. They're useless. They haven't found us yet. Hell, they barely helped up above on Coriolis. If anything, this entire thing has proven to me once again that those sort of people have no idea what they're doing. No idea at all. I try and think what's worse. If we actually had crashed near the conglomerate, then I'd be in a different sort of trouble. I don't really know if that's a better trouble than this, or not. After all, if we don't find something tomorrow, I'm going to die in a jungle, and that pisses me off.
And it is with those thoughts that you fall asleep. And the morning comes, and the sounds of the jungle and the heat begins to greet you yet again. The insects have come out after the wind has died down, and you continue trekking through the jungle, following the tracks of the crawler. Your eyes are blurry from exhaustion. Every step sends jolts of pain through your limbs, and your bodies are covered in cuts and insect bites. The humid heat against your skin makes your fingers want to scratch and claw and never stop. You envy the many reptiles you've seen along the way and their ability to shed their skin. The knotty trunks of the large trees that grow on this ridge that you're passing through seem to close in around you. A mighty wall of dark green, scarred but not tamed, despite the conglomerate's attempts at expansion. You are at the mercy of the icons, held hostage by a hostile planet. Just as you start to lose all hope of ever finding your goal, you catch a glimpse of the blue sky through the trees. The jungle's suffocating grip wanes, and the smell of fire, cooking, and human civilization greets you as you near what is the edge of the forest. The fertile lowlands beyond this ridge stretch out before you in stark contrast to the green nightmare behind. A network of jetties and docks crisscrosses between the orchards and plantations that cluster on the banks of the conglomerate's lifeblood, the Ramishah Delta. On the edge of the giant sinkhole that used to be the Hyderus spaceport, you see the end of your journey, the junk town of Bay Basin. You have just arrived at Bay Basin, which is a junk town built by jungle wood, steel scraps, and the sweat and blood of its citizens. Logging, farming, and prospecting, you would gather. Burning the jungle and digging up that which is hidden beneath the ground. You have connection to a network here, Carlo.
I am going to that connection, and as we entered Bay Basin, I pretty much said, as soon as we saw it to the others, "Alright, I'll give your icons credit. They seem to like us. The odds that we would be near Bay Basin actually are... like, oh my... By the icons, we're gonna live."
Yeah.
I have no idea why our friends are here, but for the moment, let's focus on being back in civilization.
Yeah,
at least
I don't see
limited.
quite why they let a piece of crap like you make it this far. Maybe they're your icons as well. Who would have thought it?
Get back to me when I'm not covered in bug bites and mud.
And I start scratching furiously at my forehead, which is now covered with tiny, tiny bites of some sort of mites. I don't know what.
Actually, before we approach Bay Basin as well, the tracks, do they just, join up with, I'm guessing, other vehicle tracks that maybe make the main thoroughway of Bay Basin, or
You guess right.
But I smell strongly of my skin lotion, as I usually do, so something about me feeling a bit familiar, even in these extreme circumstances.
Alright, Captain. At this point, we make our way closer, I say to the Captain. Okay, there'll be places we can finally get back in communication, but I don't even know at this point. Like, obviously our friends are hidden somewhere here in Bay Basin. There's lots of gangs in Bay Basin. It's a mining town, a wood town.
Yes, you know of this coltan mine. Coltan is, of course, is very rare and extremely valuable, and would actually clearly justify setting up a city like this in the middle of the jungle. That's probably why this place exists at all. It's because of this valuable metal. Coal. It seems to also be something that they're digging up here, and what information you have about this place is that yes, it's about natural resources and drugs. That's what this whole place is about. The colonial agency were the ones who set it up, but then the sinkhole claimed new victims, and they decided that this place was way too risky for them to be operating it. Way too many insurance claims, and it seems when you're looking at the network as though most of the businesses here, well, there's one name that pops up quite a bit. Beer Basil.
Beer Basil?
Yes. A family name. Farouk, you've heard of this name if Carlo shares his information with you.
I do.
Well, Beer Basil, that's... You heard that name from Al Walim. Yes, syndicate connections.
I think the syndicate is strong here. If I'm not mistaken, Bir Basil is Al Walim's connection in the syndicate. One of them, at least.
Oh, that's interesting, I say.
We should probably be careful.
Well, here's the question. Is the syndicate the ones taking the mystics?
Yeah, or are they just passing them on to someone?
Right, well, it's at this point, I'm not entirely sure how good the communications are in Bay Basil. I'm guessing not good enough to be sending messages up to Coriolis.
No, from here you can actually communicate with Coriolis.
Right. That's good. I was a bit worried about this place being so backwater after all. Okay, Captain, I might be able to get us in contact with the Judicator again and actually get some backup or guidance on this stupid mission.
You believe that probably you would be best off trying to connect to some kind of terminal in the town itself. Might be a bit shaky with the equipment that you have here via this network. It's a little bit unstable. It seems, to be something that's been just keeping together barely.
Alright, yes. Okay, let's find... I don't know, there must be some sort of lodge house or tavern. Find somewhere to recuperate. And then from there, I can make some connections back to Coriolis. What do you guys say? Let's lay low. We have no idea who's a friend or a foe here, but I don't care. There's people, and it's not a jungle. We can make this work now.
We could use a change of clothes and a bath, perhaps.
I'm feeling myself that this protective clothing that we have is soaking up so much water. It's like it's great for protection, but also since it's not leather or stuff like that, it's getting really heavy from all this.
Captain, all due respect, we're going to be lucky if we get a sink. But here's hoping.
Yeah, just some place we can sit down and dry up for a bit. Maybe get something to eat? There should be restaurants here, right?
Yeah, if we can't get a bath, at least maybe something in our stomachs.
Yes, and do you then walk into town? I mean, there's plenty of people walking about like a normal town. There's nothing really suspicious or anyone like looking out for anything in particular. Really, people are just going about their daily business.
So what about, how is it like in a place like this, carrying unlicensed weaponry and stuff? Is anyone gonna care?
I doubt they're gonna care, Pig, as long as you don't point them at anyone.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, your own experience from, the places like this that you have visited during your, trading missions, shall we say, is that it is the law of the jungle, quite literally. It doesn't, there's probably not any really strong law enforcement going on here, and if there is, it's probably mostly run on bribes. Someone might decide to harass you, of course, if they consider you a threat, but no one's going to ask for a license.
That's good. I think to myself, as one of the things that I dropped behind me long ago was the nice case that I had to my rifle. Just basically anything that I could get rid of at that point as we were making our way through the jungle was worth getting rid of, I felt.
Something occurs to me. The boy. That cross on his head. I'm going to quickly take off my turban and give it to the boy to put on his head.
He looks up to you and looks a little bit confused, and sort of pats the turban and seems pleased to have received a new hat.
Yeah, sure, kid, you keep that. Just make sure no one can see your little interesting mark. And I pull up my coat as best I can, because I don't really want to be seen either if I can avoid it. And as I make my way into the town, you'll notice I do try and lead you across a few side streets when I can.
Yes, and you walk through the shanty town here, and you end up passing the bazaar, because most roads lead to the bazaar, right? Here you find peddlers of scavenged or stolen tech, probably from this sinkhole where the spaceport sank into the sinkhole, and from what you have learned, it seems as if people are diving down there and basically picking up old tech that they can find. And there's also jungle game and fish from the river for sale here. Opor milk sold in various stalls. And you see mostly indentured sogoi or orphans that are hunched over the piles, scrubbing the mud off of the merchandise.
As I'm looking around, you mentioned I see sogoi. Do I think I see any other? Does it seem as if it's all first-comer folk?
So anyone who is who looks to be sort of a servant or a slave, because you can actually see slave trading being done here in the open as well. It is primarily, it is first-comers, and especially the sogoi.
Again, I try and make sure I don't make any eye contact. Admittedly, I'm not dressed like a standard Zenithian, especially Zenithians who live around here. But yeah, I might not do too much talking if I can avoid it. I kind of say to Farouk, Captain, while we're here, maybe it's best you do most of the negotiating, yes?
Well, that is a situation I feel comfortable in, so it shouldn't be a problem.
And I know you love moments like this, Pig, but if you could just call me a normal bastard rather than a Zenithian bastard, at least while we're here.
You see sort of a hint of malice in my eye, and I say, Sure, you bastard. It feels like I'm utterly enjoying the chance of having a hand up on you.
As you're walking through here, you basically can see that the city is divided in the north town, which is where industry and the trade houses are located, and then the south town, which is this messy shanty town that's clinging to the edges of the sinkhole. You can see houses that are on the precipice of falling down into the sinkhole. The rock must be eroding, and more of these houses are running the risk of sliding into the waters. The people here seem to be living one day at a time, taking whatever jobs they can to feed their families. Then there's the docks, which is this chaotic maze of jetties and pontoons, welded together rows of derelict barges and rafts, old shacks and warehouses. There's cranes that tower over mine carts, brimming with ore and coal from the local mines. Free League stevedores work here around the clock, as well as day laborers who get called in to cover the especially busy shifts. The air is heavy and the water black from soot and mineral dust. At the edges of the docks, the workers' barracks give way to simple cantinas, gambling dens, and overcrowded residential units, wedged in between the souk and the bustling life of the loading piers. And the Colonial Agency has also built a new spaceport here that's on more solid ground on the eastern side of the ridge. There's a flat area that's paved with stones that functions as a landing strip. And it's surrounded on three sides by the green waters of the Ramishar River. And yes, you are here in the shanty town now, close to the bazaar. What is it that you would like to do here?
I feel we are looking simply for the moment, a place to rest, eat, wash up, and then have a few seconds with a proper communicator device.
Yeah, and maybe smoke some Arash.
You find a cantina. Misan's Cantina. Which is, well, if you think a shady bar, this is very much what it is. But it has the comforts that you need, and it seems to be a place where no one's going to be asking any questions.
And I look down at the kid and I say, well, it's true what he said, as I smell the scents of food, and I see the hunger in his eyes as he sort of looks at things people are eating. It's true what he said, my friend Carl over here. You can't be a burden. You gotta stick along, you gotta help with the work, and you helped me with that door, and you've been proving yourself. So I'm gonna treat you to a meal, all right? You gotta keep being a part of the team, right? I'm not your daddy or anything.
He nods, and he holds out a leaflet that looks a bit muddy. He must have picked it up. He hands it over to you.
What's this? And I have a look at it.
It says, "Freedom is coming. Shaukar will liberate Bay Basin." It's written in both Zini and the local dialect.
There's some kind of freedom fighter. More rebellions going on, I suppose. Interesting, though. Thanks for that. Where'd you find that?
He points to the street.
Okay. Well, you see anything here that people are eating that you like?
He starts to point towards a large plate of dates. And as he does that, you can hear sounds coming from the street. Excited voices. Sounds like a demonstration. They're chanting, "Free Bay Basin! Free Bay Basin!"
I roll my eyes and look to Farouk and say, let's get inside. These sort of protests don't go well. It's probably going to be a crackdown in a minute, and I'm not in the mood for more people trying to shoot me or punch me or hit me.
I'm holding the flyer and I'm looking out to see what they're doing.
Then you see a group of people, a crowd that's assembled. They have violence in their eyes and they're chanting, and this crowd then suddenly scatters as the town militia approaches. And they look like mercenaries. Quite similar actually to the ones that you saw in the forest, in the jungle. One of the soldiers is in an old loader exo with heavy weapons welded onto it. The crowd is scattered, but then they gather their courage again, and they gather at the center of the street, defiantly blocking this group of militia. "You will have to go through us if you want to pass," the leader seemingly says. Upon which the exo driver says, "With pleasure," and has a sword on this exo, which he uses to impale this leader, just killing him right there in the streets. The other militia members fire tear gas against the demonstrators, and now they are really dispersing for real, as the exo throws away the dead body of the leader of these demonstrators.
Wow. No nonsense kind of guys. And I look back in and I see Carlo is getting ready to get more settled in, not wanting to be part of this. What is Farouk doing?
I'm just trying to take everything in. But even though I do have a tendency to want to help people, I think we are in a situation that we need to lay low as much as possible, so I'm just hanging back.
But you were watching this as well?
Yeah.
Let's get some food, I guess.
Yes, you see that the bartender in here has looked up to what was happening out in the street, and then just looks back again as if this is something that happens on a daily basis. Basically, the tobacco smoke in here is thick, and you can smell alcohol and sweat and perfume. It's a place that you've been in places like this many times.
I do, as we get inside, because I did stop for a moment to watch this going on. As we go near this tavern owner, I do say, "Who's the militia then? We're new in town. Those guys, I guess those guys, who do they work for? The import companies or what?"
They work for Rakim Birbasil. She's the one who runs things over here.
Ah, right. So that's the person who runs Bay Basin, you could say.
You could say that, yeah. Yeah, people aren't so happy about it, as you can see, but what are you gonna do? Guess they're gonna try and fight them, but that's probably only gonna end one way.
No, you don't want to mess with the syndicate. No, sir. If, at this point, Farouk and Pig have come near, they will totally notice I'm speaking in a very silly voice.
I put on a very blank face, I think, mostly of surprise, but I get what he's doing.
I just smile and raise an eyebrow discreetly.
And you see that there's a terminal in here, Carlo, that you could probably connect to.
Turning to my friends, lowering my voice. Okay. So, Captain, you want me to establish communication?
Yeah, if you can do that without arousing any suspicion, that would be very good.
Shouldn't be a problem. I don't think anyone... I sort of pause mid-sentence. I might do a little... The channel is secure, so... Maybe our syndicate friends might know someone's making a secure transmission. Let me work on that. I will go to the terminal, but I will take at least some precautionary measure to at least, if someone was paying attention to signals going in and out of Bay Basin, that they don't pay attention to this one.
Well, you know what to do. And you do it. You establish what you know is a secure line. And who are you contacting?
Judicator Kosa.
And you reach through to Judicator Kosha. This is Kosha.
Kosha, it's your free fools. We're still alive.
Ooh, glad you made it. We lost a lot of good people. But we did eradicate the martyr threat on the station, though. Well done. Oh, be careful with that wound, Apion.
So here's the thing. What happens now? It seems, from evidence we've gathered, and at this point I quickly send her that communique. At this point I quickly sent her that little text message we received from the beacons. Sending you this now, as you can see, it seems that people on Coriolis aren't working alone. They're doing something down here on Kua as well. That might be where the Emissary actually is, as well as all the other mystics who've been disappearing.
Judicator Kosha seems to be studying the message. This Akbar Archer. He's clearly connected to all this. He must know where the drop pods have been taken, where the mystics have been taken. I think the best thing is for you to follow them. I'm en route to the planet to follow up another trail. I expect that we will be seeing each other soon.
Alright, we're in Bay Basin. Apparently it's Syndicate run at the moment. I think this might be the location. What do you think?
It would make a lot of sense. It is very much a place that is lawless. If you wanted to run a human trafficking operation of some sort, running it through Bay Basin would make a lot of sense. But I cannot imagine that that's where it's stopping, though. This is probably only some kind of stopping point before moving on elsewhere.
Any idea how we proceed then? Again, we're currently still under your employ, otherwise I'd be trying to get off this bloody planet.
I think this Archer fellow must know where the beds are being taken. I would suggest you try to find this person's documents. According to the message, this person keeps a very detailed documentation and ledgers over what they are doing. Surely they would have that information saved then, or, well, they would know it as well. Perhaps you could convince them to volunteer that information. Well, or persuade them, shall we say, with whatever creative means that you can come up with, Carlo.
Understood. All right. Any questions on your end?
I will follow up the tracks that we have been able to secure from what we could find at the explosion site. I will be meeting up with you shortly.
All right. Carlo out. I'll end the transmission and go back to the others, relaying everything that was said. When I finish, I say, "So there we go, Captain. Pig. The mission continues."
As you come back, you notice that Pig is not there. Pig, you've been sitting there and you've seen Carlo has been doing this transmission, and a little street urchin has come up to you and has put put his fingers up to his nose, like making like a pig, and gone, "Oink oink. I have a message for you."
I get chills down my spine, having a spoon halfway up to my mouth with aubergine stew that I bought for me and the other kid. And I slowly put it down. What's going on?
He wants to talk to you. Come on.
Shit. And suddenly, yeah, I say to the kid, "You sit here and you finish that if you want to have some dates. You gotta eat that proper food first." And off I go.
Farouk, what are you doing that's sort of keeping you occupied here, that's making you not really notice that Pig is disappearing?
I'm keeping an eye out and trying to locate and see who this syndicate contact is. Bear Basil. I walk leisurely down the streets, taking everything in, trying to, well, as much as I can, not draw as much attention as possible, and I try to find, locate, and actually visually confirm who this Beer Basil is.
You're not able to find Rakeen Beer Basil herself, but you do find the Beer Basil's domains, which are separated from the noise of the rest of the town by the grey-green waters of the Ramishah. Behind a high brick wall, decorated with beautiful mosaics and crowned with broken glass, you can just spot the upper floors of the family's whitewashed headquarters. It's a grand mansion that stands out from the rest of the settlement with its clean walls and sophisticated design. It's got a well-kept garden surrounding it. Red poppies grow all the way up to the outer walls, and a couple of warehouses nearby are used for distribution of goods to and from the much calmer northern docks. You see armed guards everywhere close to this headquarter of the Beer Basils. And that's what you're able to locate here as you're walking around.
I don't dare get too close. This sneaking around business isn't really my thing, and I'm scared that if the syndicate is involved in any way, they might be looking for us. So I try not to get too close and keep my distance and see what I can see from afar.
All right, so we move back to Pig. The street urchin has told you that someone wants to speak to you. What do you do? You've told the child that he needs to eat up.
Yeah. and I kind of lost my appetite there. So I'm getting up and I'm slinging the rifle around my shoulder, and I'm following.
And he leads you to a communicator, one of the large ones that can communicate all the way to Coriolis.
And I feel, despite the heat, that I'm getting goosebumps. And I involuntarily start tightening the wraps around my arms. As I go up to the communicator and I say, yeah?
It's me, Pig.
Hi.
Look, I care deeply for you, Pig. You know that, and I forgive you for your mistakes.
Oh, thank you. You know how I never waned for a second from your teachings.
I know that, Pig, and one day when your little crew finishes this epic quest you have undertaken, you and I will go back to do what we were supposed to be doing all along. Remember?
Yeah, I know, there's a bigger picture. Actually, I don't know if this is actually connected to that, but the things we're doing now is somehow... Well, how much do you know?
I know enough. I know that it affects me not, but it affects us all at once, but it is not my primary concern, nor is it why I am contacting you.
Yeah.
I'm contacting you because you are exactly where I want you to be, and you are someone who's motivated to help me. I know that much. We can begin again, you see. We can rebuild our relationship. It is not too late. I just need you to do something for me, Pig.
Why did you have to put a price on our heads and take the ship from us?
Messages have to be sent sometimes, you know, and promises must be kept, and I must keep up appearances after all. And to be very honest with you, the only one that I truly care about is you. The others are tools.
Yeah. They seem to have slipped into this through some kind of mutual history.
The ways of the icons are strange sometimes. You know that as well as I do. Now, I have something for you, Pig. I need you to listen carefully. Are you listening carefully?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know Rakim Bir Basil?
I heard the name. Yeah.
She's in real trouble, whether she knows it or not. The Heuschober are gonna get rid of her. Everything is on the brink here. Everything is on the brink in Babyson, and soon everything will fall. But I would like it to fall a very specific way, Pig.
Yeah. You say the Heuschober? I thought it was a person, but you make it sound like an organization.
Yes, it is an organization. The Heuschober are the freedom fighters.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we saw them in the streets. There's a lot of stuff going on around here.
Yes, there is, Pig. Rakeen is not particularly skilled at what she does. That's why she's been sent to this icon-forsaken shithole in the jungle. But she is a Bir Basil, which means that when she's in trouble, the family will need to come for her. They will need to come and save her. And when they do, I will be there to rescue her, Pig. And the Syndicate will owe me. And that, Pig, that is power. Do you understand?
Yeah, of course. But rescue her from the Heuschober, you mean?
No, I need you to make her fall. But I need you to make her fall in such a way that she remains alive find the Shaukar, help them to kidnap Rakeen. That will send powerful signals. The militia should just give up if the head of the snake is cut off. And that is when I will come into the picture.
And how do we make sure that... I mean,
You do it by yourself, Pig. That's why I called you. There's a person in the cantina that you're in right now. Jasmina. She's the Shaukar's spy in town. She would probably be very happy to be contacted by someone as crafty as the three of you. Well armed, too. Don't mention my name, of course, and any contacts you may have with her. Just that you think that you can help them.
yeah. And how is this gonna help our mission? I mean, just in terms of putting it forwards to my companions.
It's going to create a lot of chaos. I don't know exactly what it is that you're looking for here in town, but, well, things are certainly easier to get a hold of when people are distracted.
What if I tell them that this Rakeen fella, that she's the one that has received the things, the people that we're looking for?
You can tell your friends whatever you want, Peg. I do not care about that. I only care that you make sure that she's caught by the Shaukar and that she remains alive. And I know that you will make that happen because I've seen what you can do. I'm impressed, you know. What you've done so far, you were able to get away from me.
Yeah.
Peg, is that something that you can do for your friend? Your old friend?
Yeah, of course I can do that. We can do that, I mean. And I just think that when this confrontation actually happens, that you will not put me in the wrong side, right? I mean, you can come in to save her from basically us. And I don't want to... I mean, you know, things have been...
You trust me, don't you, Pig?
Yeah, of course I trust you. Yeah.
Then why are you asking that question?
I'm sorry, Sahib, I'm just getting a bit nervous. Too much things going on. Yeah, but of course, yeah, it's stupid of me.
Now go do what you've been told, and then we can continue our work.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks, and I'll see you then, I guess.
The connection has been cut.
And I stand there and I take several breaths before I put down the communicator, and then I swallow hard as I turn back and go back towards the cantina.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis, which is published by Free League. Joining us in the role of Farouk was our dear friend Jenny Jungevall. The music was created by AlphaZone and Sable Sun, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We also use the official Coriolis soundtrack by Stars on a Black Sea. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, and Lily for their generous support. We would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there, as well as binge the rest of Emissary Lost. You can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that the song leads us to the truth under a great winged shadow.